Story motherfucking time. So sometime ago, first of all, before we start the story, thank you all for the follows. Thank you for becoming a Patreon member. If you don't know what that is, it's an exclusive platform where I post other things that I have going on, the progress, the behind the scenes, photos that I don't post anywhere else. It's just an exclusive community, and I appreciate you guys for hopping on that bandwagon. Thank you guys for hitting up Blake Quake Beats, Ruvision Productions, my editing team. Thank you for the support. Just thank you. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, check out my podcast. Thank you. So sometime ago, I picked up a shift. Surprise! And it wasn't a perioperative shift, meaning I wasn't in pre-op or PACU. I wasn't on a surgical unit at all. It wasn't like I'm taking care of this one patient who just got out of surgery. I was on the floor. So I had 5 patients. It was great. Now, all fun and jokes aside, it really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't a tough shift. Now, this hospital was in the process of going through a series of renovations. You know, I feel like I'm hitting you a lot, buddy. I'm gonna just shift you a little bit. Anyways, the parking garage under construction. So the parking situation was absolutely atrocious, okay? And that wasn't the only hospital that was going through such a transition. A lot of hospitals, after a certain amount of time, they have to upgrade, they have to update, you know? So the parking situation, trash, and then there was an entire wing of the hospital that we just could not go on. I was only told that, and then I was told where I need to go. I'm not familiar with this hospital, y'all. I don't know. I'm just going where I'm told to go. This is the unit that I signed up to work on. Tell me where it is. Okay. So I get there, and as I was saying, the shift really was not that difficult. My patients were not heavy patients, right? All right. So I did have this one older lady. She was a little bit confused, but she wasn't like trying to climb out of the bed. She wasn't talking about things that weren't there. She was fine. She was just a little confused. And so because of her confusion, she had the tendency to pick at things, which was common for confused patients. And so I left the room and I was like, let me just give this girl some Velcro to play with so that she doesn't start picking at things like her IV or scabs. So I asked the CNA, can you please just eyeball her real quick while I go grab some of the Velcro stuff. Honestly, I was just gonna give her this, what's called a mitten restraint, and around the wrist, there's Velcro. And once I give that to a lot of confused patients, once they have something to pick at, they stop picking at everything else. So I asked the CNA, can you just keep an eye on her real quick, or can you go grab the mitt? She said she'll watch her, I go grab the mitten. Obviously, because I'm not familiar with this hospital, I don't know where anything is. So I end up asking a series of nurses, a total of 3 of them, and all 3 of them sent me to the wrong place. So I go back to check back in with the CNA to let her know I haven't found it yet. If you have something else you need to do, let me know. I go over there, she's not there. Whole time, homegirl, the patient, ended up pulling out her IV. So again, the shift wasn't difficult. I felt like I was getting things under control, but that little setback annoyed me because I asked the CNA, can you please just eyeball the patient while I grab what I need to grab? I gave you the option and you couldn't even do what you chose to do. So then I go find the charge nurse who was missing in action, but the charge nurse was cool, so I knew he wasn't actually missing in action. I knew that he was probably busy helping someone else. So I finally get in touch with him and I asked him if he could please tell me where to find the mittens, and can you please keep an eye on this patient because she already pulled out her IV. I knew where to find all the IV supplies, but he was like, okay, super cool. He was like, I'll start the IV. I'll be in there. In the meantime, you go on. He'll tell me where to go. He tells me to go down the hall and to the left. That's the room that we've been putting all of our supplies in. You can go down there. So let me tell you the way this hospital is set up. You get out of the elevators. You can only really make a right out of the elevators. It's just a wall to your left. You make a right out of the elevators, and then there's a left and a right. The right is the unit that I was working on. The left is another unit. I was not working on that unit. So he sends me down the hall back towards the elevators, and at the end of the unit, there's supposed to be a door. Okay? I get to the end of the unit. I look up towards the other side of the hospital and I see someone walk across the doors. You know, there's doors and then there's windows in the doors, and I see someone walk across past the doors. I keep hitting this. It's gonna be all right. I don't pay it any mind. I don't. I'm just, in my mind, I'm under the impression there are people working over there. It's a construction site. There's probably stragglers picking up whatever they do. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Paid it no mind. Go into the break room, get what I need to get, go back over there. He started the IV. I gave her something to pick at. Great. Great. Fantastic. Fast forward, the night continues to progress. Again, not tough, not difficult. I'm getting my work done. I'm doing my assessments. I'm passing my meds. I'm doing everything that I have to do. Yada, yada, daga, daga, da, right? Another patient of mine asks for what's called the little mouth swabs because her mouth is dry and she's NPO. So NPO means nothing by mouth. She cannot have anything to eat because she's scheduled to have a procedure the next day. So she just asks if she can moisten anything to eat or drink. So she just asks if she could moisten her mouth because her mouth felt dry because she hasn't been allowed to drink anything. She hasn't been allowed to eat anything. She hasn't been allowed to have anything. So I said, sure. I make my way back down the hallway into that supply room that the charge nurse told me about. I walk. I happen to look up. I see more movement across the hall. I'm not paying it any mind. Grabbed the little swabs, dipped it in some ice, handed it to her. I said, you're an adult. You're a grown woman. Don't drink this water. If you do, you could die because you can aspirate the water in surgery. I usually like to scare them a little bit so that they don't actually do what they're not supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, it's break time, and as I'm walking towards the break room, it dawned on me that I forgot my lunch. And I was at a point in my life at this time where I had refused to spend money on food. Refused. So I was complaining to a couple of other nurses about it, and I was like, is there, anywhere like a vending machine somewhere in here that I can just go snack on something until the end of the shift and I'll eat my real food, okay? So she says, yeah, there's a vending machine, but it's on that, like, the other side. You have to, like, venture to the other side. So I was like, oh, great. So I wasn't thinking anything of it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna venture to the other side. I'm going to put my little change in the machine. I'm gonna get some snacks because I'm not spending 15 bucks and probably what's gonna end up being 30 with the delivery fee. It might even be 50 with, some other random fee. Okay, I'm not doing it. I was boycotting it. So I walk over to the other side and I'm expecting to run into a couple of people because I saw all the other times that I ran down the hallway to get something from this supply room, I saw people walking back and forth, okay? Nobody. Now it's probably about 2, maybe 3, maybe 2:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. So I'm like, maybe everybody's gone home. Maybe they're not working through the night like us. And I get to the vending machine, which is like up against some wall in a little corner somewhere. I get my snacks and I start walking back, and it shouldn't have been as confusing as it was that night. So I walk out of the little corner that the vending machine was in and I'm like, oh, sugars, left or right? So I make a right and I'm like, no, it's gotta be back this way. And so I make the left and I see someone walk out of a room holding something. They didn't look strange. They literally looked like they were working. And they were like, are you lost? And I said, yes. I'm pretty sure I just pointed in the direction that I thought I came from. And they shook their head no, and they're like, you came from that direction. I'm pretty sure because there's nothing over there. And I squinted and I was like, okay, I guess. And so I start walking in the direction that they told me to walk in, and I was feeling uncomfortable. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. There's no way. There's no way. So I turn back around and I keep walking until I see what looks like a familiar turn, and I turn down that hallway and then things begin to look more and more familiar, and I'm like, that's right, I remembered making this turn. And so I end up making my way off the unit and back across the hall to the other unit. I get back there and the charge nurse was like, hey, where'd you go? Oh, are you on break? And I was like, yeah, I just went to the other side to go get something from the vending machine. And I was like, I got lost, but thank God there was somebody over there that was, offering assistance. However, I kind of feel like they may have made it a little worse for me. And he was like, somebody was helping you over there? And he looked like he wasn't taking me seriously. And I was like, yes, they noticed that I looked lost because I wear my ability to get lost so well. And he laughed and he was like, someone on the other side was trying to offer you assistance. I said, yes. I was like, he looked like he worked there? I don't know. I mean, he was like, so he had scrubs on? And I was like, no, but like, it looked like he had work clothes on. I don't know. I don't remember. He just told me where to go, which ended up being wrong. And you know, the smile is slowly, gradually fading. And he was like, Ashley, are you being serious? Like, did you actually talk to somebody over there? And I was like, yes, I'm being dead ass, my guy. And he was like, Ashley, no one has been on that side of the hospital for years. And I was like, that's not true. I literally saw like 2 or 3 people walking past there. And he was like, Ashley, no one has been on that side of the hospital for years. No one goes over there. Absolutely no one. I was like, you're trying to be funny. What about construction workers? What about all this construction that you guys are doing that's messing up all the parking? He was like, that side is not a part of the construction. Nobody goes over there because they're planning on getting rid of that side completely. They're doing a whole revamp to what's something else, some other side of the hospital. That side has not been touched for years. No one goes over there. And I was like, well, somebody was over there tonight. And he was like, really? And he looks at his watch. He was like, at 2:45 in the morning, somebody was over there. And then he turns around and looks at 2 other nurses who are like just standing there all wide-eyed. They were like, bro, one of them was like, we've heard so many stories, like that side of the hospital is alive. And we think that that's part of the reason why like it hasn't been able to be torn down. Like there's something going on over there that's like working to keep it standing. I was like, are you freaking serious? So you mean to tell me that I had a mini conversation with what? With what? And so my charge nurse is like, bro, this is really crazy. Like, that's weird. Who sent you over there? Who told you to go over there to that vending machine? And so another nurse was like, I didn't tell you to go to that side. There's a vending machine next to the elevator, so you have to go to that side of the unit and go to the elevators. I'm like, bro, no. Pause. That's not the instructions that you gave me. I know I'm not losing my mind. And now everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I was like, I swear I spoke to someone. They're probably still over there. And they're looking at me like, nope. Y'all, for the rest of the night, I kept squinting, trying to see like through those doors, because I swore I saw people walking over there. And I might take it to my grave. I'm not going crazy. So yeah, the rest of the shift was totally fine. They held on to their beliefs, their words. I don't know if they were trying to scare me or not, but I will tell you one thing, for the rest of the night, like I was saying, I was looking for something. I was looking for movement, and absolutely nothing. Nothing. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I just want to express a little bit more gratitude. Again, thank you guys all for the followers. Hit the like, tell your friends, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell. Check out my Patreon, you know, my IG, subscribe there. Just support. And you know, I also have merchandise. Check that out. Show your girl some love. Keep showing me love. Thanks again. Okay, bye.